All right, we're going to begin with our drum discussion by talking about the drum kit as a whole. Let's go through all the microphones first. On the hi-hat, we're using a Neumann KM100 aimed closer to the outside, a couple inches off the outside, and maybe about 6 inches away from the hi-hats. On the snare, we're using two Shure SM57 microphones. The top snare mic is placed above the snare at maybe a 30-degree angle and 3 inches or so above the rim, aimed at the center of the top head. We have another SM57 below the snare drum, miking the resonant head and the snares underneath the drum. The microphone is positioned slightly off center and is located about 3 inches below the bottom head. On the rack tom, we have a Sennheiser 421 aimed roughly at the center of the drum head at about a 45-degree angle. On the floor tom, we have another 421 aimed a little bit more towards the edge than the center to give us a little more clarity and a little less boom. On the kick drum, we're using two microphones. Inside the kick, we're using a Shure Beta 52 aimed at the beater about 10 inches away from it. And on the outside of the bass drum, we're using a Yamaha Subkick to pick up the lower frequencies and the body of the kick drum. Above the kit, we have two overhead mics in a cardioid pickup pattern. We're using two Neumann U67 tube mics in a spaced pair configuration. These mics are placed roughly 4 feet above the cymbals and maybe 5 feet apart, both facing the drum kit. The position of these mics is such that they pick up a real nice stereo sound of the entire drum set. The last two microphones we're checking out here are the pair of AKG 414s we have in the room. Both condenser mics are in the cardioid pattern, placed at about a 90-degree angle in what we call an XY configuration. They're roughly 14 feet away from the kick drum. We use these two microphones to pick up a nice room sound from the drum kit and blend in with the close mics.